preface my talk with just a short introduction to myself, or about myself. I'm Thornton. I sit on the sales team at Fireblocks. I'm based out of London, covering Western Europe. No, it's nice to be here. Thank you for the drinks and everything, and it's nice to see some familiar faces from Blockstart a few weeks ago as well. So a little overview of Fireblocks. I kind of wanted to take this time to give you guys a bit of an idea of who we are and what we do. So there's some key numbers here, and when we talk about 2,000 customers, we're talking specifically about businesses. So we have 2,000 customers, and they're covering a range of use cases in this space. We've secured over $6 trillion in transactions through our platform. Created over 200 million wallets, have $1 billion in funding, so we're here to stay, and probably close to 650 employees now. As you can see, pretty globally distributed there as well. So a little bit of a different approach to how I normally take these conversations, but I wanted to go into how we deal with security first and foremost. So we have a multi-layered approach, and kind of what that means is there's different layers to it. I think the most important thing with Fireblocks is obviously the layer 2, and that's what we've developed in-house. So it's a multi-party computation, and it's our own algorithm, so MPC, CMP. And essentially how this works is there's 3 key shares, so the private key, there's three key shares. We take 2 key shares and host them on Intel SGX enclaves, which you'll see as the layer 1, and then the 3rd key share will be with our customer. So what that means is the customer will have full custody of the digital assets. You need all 3 key shares to come together cryptographically in order to be able to sign for a transaction. As Fireblocks only has 2 key shares, we can never sign for a transaction, and that means there's no counterparty risk there as well. So it's pretty cool, and again, I'd say kind of geared towards institutions in this sense, and those that are really security conscious as well. So really high level architecture. As you can see on the bottom left corner, this is the 3 key shares. So the 2 held on Intel SGX enclaves, and the 3rd key share held on the client's device. Could be Android, could be iOS. And then looking further up, there's 2 ways of accessing Fireblocks. So there are customers that would like to build, on their own, essentially white label Fireblocks, and then there's also those that are like maybe trading, and they'd like to use Fireblocks from the console as well. And then we have fiat integrations across the globe, AML, KYT, no transaction with chain analysis and elliptic, and then some audited ones as well. And as you can see, the Fireblocks network takes up a large proportion of this slide, and I think it'll take up quite a lot of our focus today as well, because it's a pretty amazing tool. So just before we go there, I think it's important to note the different blockchains that we support. So we're supporting currently 58, I think it's about 60 different blockchains actually. And as you can see, infinite tokens, so essentially any ERC20 token we can support through the console as well. So I'm going to bucket today's talk in around 4 different areas. So you have the custody and trading on the top left, and then I'm going to bucket the tokenization with the stablecoins and CBDCs, as well as the NFTs and Web3. Essentially you have financial tokenization and non-financial tokenization as well. And then we're going to have a little look at the payment side of things, and then really shortly come on to the fintechs as well at the end. So the Fireblocks network. So the Fireblocks network is essentially, well, as it says on the tin, it's the network of counterparties. So every Fireblocks customer has the ability to go and connect and collaborate and transact with each one another. On the bottom of here, there are a few of the benefits you get from that. Essentially, you're going to be avoiding man-in-the-middle attacks and operational errors as well. But also, as from a business development point of view as well, becoming discoverable on the Fireblocks network can lead to basically seeing target market clients and developing business from that perspective as well. A little bit of a flavour of those customers. So you have a real range. So you have the exchanges, you have the banking, custody and payments. You can see some pretty big names there as well. The likes of Revolut, the BNY Mellons of the world, and the WorldPays. And then you have liquidity providers, brokers, and OTC desks. And they're kind of a big part of the Fireblocks network as well. I think in this talk today, I'll be kind of focusing on our solution towards exchanges and our solutions towards brokers and OTC desks as well. And then as well, you have the lending providers and the hedge funds as well. So off exchange. So off exchange is a pretty neat solution. Essentially what we've done is we've built out a product that will remove the counterparty risk from trading on an exchange. That's designed to basically protect you from hacks and frauds, allow real-time settlement as well, increase your capital efficiency, essentially with transparency at the core. So our solution is very much tech first. How it works is you have a collateral vault account between yourself and the exchange. You credit that collateral vault, and that in turn then credits the exchange as well, which is what allows you to trade on the exchange. So as you can see on the left-hand side, you have the typical custodial solutions, potentially a little bit unclear of whose assets are whose when they're held by the exchange, where on the right-hand side you have the Fireblocks off-exchange solution, which uses one of our MPC wallets, and basically how it works is you have the trader and the exchange both having visibility of the wallet, and you will be able to initiate real-time settlement as well. So, currently the supported exchanges for this product are Deribit, HDX and Bybit, and the rest of those exchanges are to come as well. So you have the likes of OKX, Gate, Bit, BitGet, One Trading, CoinHacker coming as well. So I've spoken a little bit about the exchange solution, and I think the smart transfer solution's geared really nicely towards how you may interact with a broker or an OTC desk using the Fireblocks network. So essentially how this works is you have the ability to go ahead and request a smart transfer. So this could be one way or two way. So for example, you are a business and you're wanting to connect to an OTC desk on the Fireblocks network. You can therefore go ahead and arrange that transaction offline. It could be Telegram, it could be phone, it could be email. And then once that's all confirmed, all you need to do is go onto the Fireblocks console and initiate a smart transfer to a network counterparty. So the beauty of this is because all of the customers on the Fireblocks network are Fireblocks customers, we manage the public keys. So we can put one with the other, ensuring there's kind of, as a few slides back, ensuring there's kind of no way of doing operational errors. So moving into the payment side of things, we have a huge focus on payments as well. We acquired a payments company a few years back, but we are investing heavily in the space because we believe that blockchains are going to be the next payments rail. So yeah, just like ACH, just like SEPA, we think that businesses will need to adapt to interact with these new payment systems. And I think by a view of some of the customers moving into this space, I think that's probably a market sentiment as well. Essentially, you have two key enablers that are allowing this to happen, right? So tokenization is one. So the ability to tokenize an asset, whether that's US dollar, whether that's gold. These are the currencies that are going to allow us to move these transactions and have that stability that businesses in this space desire. And then of course, on and off ramps are very important for these transaction flows. So in this example here, you're on-ramping funds in Mexico, you're then going to need an on-ramp in Mexico, you'll then move the transaction in USDT and off-ramp it in the US. So the on-off ramps are very important as well. So yeah, the other benefits of this as well is obviously you're not bound to the 9 till 5 of traditional banking systems, and then you have the ability to go ahead and create additional products which will generate additional revenue as well. So you know there's a huge market out there for having products for crypto businesses, things like that, and then again, predictability and capital efficiency. So when we talk about capital efficiency, you're not going to have funds tied up in lengthy traditional methods. So to give you a bit of an idea, traditional cross-border transactions may take 40 hours plus. We can do that in 15 minutes. So the use cases that we're working across in the payment space are the merchant settlement stablecoin, or stablecoin settlement I should say, cross-border settlement, automation service. The automation service is pretty cool. This is actually kind of a product that's, I think, a lot of our customers are going to be using. What it means, or what it does, is essentially you can define by, let's say, 6 p.m. at the end of the day, I want to reconcile all of my funds into one account. That can do that. Creative payouts, crypto pay-ins as well, so you can generate a QR code, and then also custom use cases as well. So just quickly talking about our customers WorldPay. So these guys are using the merchant stablecoin settlement product from Fireblocks payments engine, and what they've seen is 50% faster payment processing, 24/7, 365 days a year operations, diversification of revenue operations. So again, these guys are targeting, I'd say, those crypto companies as well. And then because they use the Fireblocks platform, they actually had a huge advantage on time to market as well. So into the next bucket, which will be the tokenization, financial and non-financial as well. So you have the tokenization engine here, and essentially what this does and what this allows is an end-to-end token lifecycle management. And we actually acquired a business last year based out of Australia, called Blockfold, and those guys have come in-house now and are leading the charge developing this product as well. So you can now use Fireblocks pre-built smart contracts as well when you're building tokenization projects, as well as our partner smart contracts. So that's Bitbond and Tokeny, which you can actually choose in the smart contract library. We have also a fabulous tokenization solutions team as well, and these guys are kind of the experts in the field and helping our customers define their use case and how they're going to go about their operations as well. The beautiful thing is here is with all of the Fireblocks products, you have this transaction authorization policy. So this is the third layer of security. Now this defines who can do what inside the Fireblocks platform. So it can define, okay, in the trading scenario, it can define maybe you hire someone new, okay, they can move X amount of funds per day, and after that it will require their manager to sign off. In a tokenization scenario, it can define who can actually go and mint, who can transfer these tokens, who can actually burn them as well. This can be done in three ways as well. So you can do that, well, two ways actually. You can do that manually, so by signing a transaction on the Fireblocks console, so initiating it from the console and signing that on a mobile device using two-factor authentication, or that can be done via APIs as well in a hot setup. Again, you have the ability to have dedicated integrations, and then at the bottom, wallets as a service. So in a pretty interesting way, we have a wallets as a service product as well, which I will come on to later at the very end. But this really allows that full token lifecycle management. So the tokenization use cases we're working across have quite a big range actually. So we have the fixed income, the tokenized money, funds, money funds, ESG, carbon and real world assets as well, through to the non-financial stuff. So customers building out potentially customer loyalty schemes and things like that. And there's some pretty big logos there. In the middle, you may recognise the Securitize one. So Securitize launched the Biddle Fund with BlackRock, and it was Fireblocks wallets supporting that. So the building blocks for tokenization, as we spoke about already, so you have the tokenization platform, the ability to go ahead and use a pre-built Fireblocks smart contract. You're not limited to that, you can actually go and bring your own one as well. But the Fireblocks pre-built smart contracts are already audited via OpenZeppelin as well. And then you have the ability to go ahead and manage those policies, which I just touched on there as well. So the ability to manage the deployment of the smart contract, which is the minting, the burning, the custody. Then also you have the integrations with the KYT AML integrations that I spoke about earlier as well. So with chain analysis and elliptic, and nota bene there as well. So it's a pretty full tokenization engine, and there's a lot of interesting projects being built on that. So it's quite an exciting space. So finally, there are two different ways, and we look at wallets as a service. So there's the first way, and these, by the way, are geared towards retail use cases. So that could be any business that are wanting retail wallets, where you have an end user. So you have here the direct custody wallet. So that remains in a similar setup to the normal Fireblocks setup, where you have the 303 key shares. And in this scenario, as you can see, the end user doesn't own a key share. So the custody of those assets are actually held by our customer, the Fireblocks customer. And then you have the embedded wallet take. So this is a 2 of 2 mechanism, and essentially uses one key share held by Fireblocks, and then the second key share held by the end user. Now, the interesting thing about this one is when you put this into your application, so you embed it into your application, you still get to choose all of the kind of the interface. You get to choose how they interact with it. Also, the transaction authorization policy, you can define how they can do it. But ultimately, they're the custodians of the assets, and should they want to, they could go ahead and recover their accounts. So there is no counterparty risk on the Fireblocks customer holding those assets. So in a scenario where they can't legally custody assets, or don't want to legally custody assets, that's a good solution as well. So thank you very much. We've got some time now for Q&A. Covered all the bases then, I presume? Okay, thanks very much.
Actually,